The U.S. Supreme Court has temporarily preserved the access to widely used abortion pill Mifepristone. The court has issued an administrative stay freezing the lower court's restrictions for 5 days until Wednesday. This will allow justices more time to decide whether lower court rulings restricting approval of the drug should be allowed to take effect in the short term. The move by Supreme Court comes after President Joe Biden's administration and New York-based Danco Laboratories, the maker of the pill, used the justices to intervene on Friday. Justice Department filed an emergency appeal asking the Supreme Court to block the lower court rulings that would have banned or limited access to the drug. Last week, a Texas court had ordered pulling the drug off the market after it ruled that the Food and Drug Administration improperly approved the abortion pill more than 20 years ago. A federal appeals court on Wednesday preserved availability of the drug, however, only under tight restrictions. It confined the use of Mifepristone to the first 7 weeks of pregnancy instead of 10, and also declared that a patient also needs to visit a doctor in person to get it. As court battle continues over the abortion pill, New York Governor Kathy Hochul has said that the state is stockpiling 150,000 doses of another pill called Mifepristone, which can also be used to terminate pregnancies. This, she says, is in a bid to protect abortion access and the rights of all New Yorkers. Meanwhile, Florida's Republican Governor DeSantis has signed a bill into law that bans most abortions after 6 weeks. DeSantis signed the legislation on Thursday after lawmakers in the state's Republican-led House of Representatives approved it with a 70-against-40 vote. The bill passed the state Senate by a vote of 26 against 13 on April 3rd. The law will take effect only if the state's current 15-week ban is upheld in an ongoing legal challenge that is before the state Supreme Court. Locals, meanwhile, have shown their concerns regarding the move, which can drastically curtail the abortion access in the state.
I am Miami born and raised. This is the state that I have always lived in, and I call this place home, and I'm terrified to see what has been happening in the state of Florida. The 6-week abortion ban is going to severely limit women's access to reproductive health, to the right that we have to decide how to have our families, when to have our families.
The intent of the bill was to make it harder to access abortion. And while it does make it much harder logistically and because of the many different lived experiences of patients having to coordinate childcare and time off work, all of these things, it does make it much harder to access abortion.
I mean, I feel like everyone here who's against what's going on right now feels really bad, mostly because it impacts a lot of our folks who are marginalized, like Black and brown youth, Black and brown people in marginalized communities, and it's just like a direct slap in the face, I think, for a lot of people who are young and just overall who need abortions.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.